And Caroline Glick is with us now from Israel. She's an advisor to Prime Minister Netanyahu. Caroline, thanks for coming back on. I want to start with the scene in the Knesset. This is a day of celebration in Israel. What do you think you'll remember most from what you just saw?
You know, it was an extraordinary event. I just got home and I'm still really excited about the event at the Knesset. I think one of the most important things that happened in the course of President Trump's speech was that he made clear that the reason that we were able to get the hostages released today was because of the offensive against Iran's nuclear weapons facilities, their nuclear facilities, and their ballistic missile facilities, and their nuclear scientists. That was a joint operation of Israel and the United States. And he said very clearly over and over again that had that operation not taken place, it's hard to imagine that nations of the region that are now standing as one and stood as one to force Hamas to give up the hostages today, that wouldn't have happened. They wouldn't have dared to defy Iran, which was on the verge of becoming a nuclear armed state. And I think that that can be said not only about Operation Rising Lion and Midnight Hammer, Israel's operation and America's operation against Iran's nuclear facilities and their ballistic missiles. It can be said of the war in general. It can be said of Israel's latest offensive in Gaza City. It can be said of the operations that we took that broke Hezbollah in Lebanon, that brought down the downfall of Bashar Assad in Syria. Iran's axis of evil is broken after 2 years of this war. And what President Trump said, and what Prime Minister Netanyahu also said in his remarks, is that it's a remarkable courage of Israel's soldiers, of the IDF. We lost 915 heroes in this war fighting for the preservation of the state of Israel and the security of our people after October 7th. And I think that that showed just how true it is, the statement, the slogan, the ideal that has been behind Israel's operations in this war, and in all things really under the leadership of Prime Minister Netanyahu, which comes from the Torah, which is that you get peace by being strong. God will give will give strength to the nation of Israel, and bless them with peace. And I think that that was the message that came out so strongly. It's because of our strength that we've reached this point. Thank God.
All of the living hostages are now back in Israel. Have you heard anything yet from them or their families?
Yes, the reports are so far good about their medical health. We were very, very concerned that they would be coming back in bad condition, and all of them came out on their feet. They all walked. They all walked out, which was incredible. They're very skinny, emaciated, but it's just scenes of jubilation in family after family that have been going through torture for 2 years, waiting for their sons to come home. And thank God, the sons and the husbands that have been held hostage are soldiers who have been held hostage for 2 years, and Hamas's terror chambers are home with their families tonight. Thanks to our army, thanks to President Trump, thanks to Prime Minister Netanyahu.
The Hostage Family Forum released a statement saying remains of just 4 of 28 deceased hostages were returned instead of all of them. What's the Prime Minister's office planning to do now to get those remains back to their families?
Well, I mean, they have, first of all, right now, we're getting ready to get the remains of some of the hostages who were murdered by Hamas. 28 bodies have to be returned. And they have to be sent to our forensic medical center in Tel Aviv for identification. We remember that Hamas tried to pull a fast one on Israel with the remains of Shiri Bibas, who was kidnapped to Gaza on October 7th, along with her infant sons, Ariel and Kfir, and they were murdered. And they brought back the bodies of the little boys, and they did not bring back the body of the mother. They brought Israel the body of another woman, and that was unidentified, and we had to demand to get Shiri's body back. So we're not announcing who is being returned for burial in Israel until we have forensic analysis. And there are some bodies that we fear are not going to be found, but we're hoping for the best. Hamas did commit to returning all 28 of the hostages that they murdered.
This is just the start of a 20-point plan for the ceasefire with Hamas, and it includes Hamas disarming and leaving Gaza. Do you worry the next steps in all of this may not go as smoothly as this one did?
Of course I do. That's why, of course, we do in Israel. That's why our forces are still deployed in Gaza and the majority of the territory that controls the vast majority of the territory of Gaza. Because why would we trust Hamas? But we do trust President Trump. He's an extraordinary friend to the people of Israel, to the Jewish people, to the state of Israel. And we trust his good intentions and also his power. We'll have to see, and if that doesn't, as both Prime Minister Netanyahu and President Trump have said, it can be done the easy way by implementing the 20-point plan, or it can be done the hard way. But one way or another, Hamas will be demilitarized. They will give up their arms, and they will be thrown out of Gaza as a regime, and Gaza will no longer pose a threat to Israel going forward. So those are our war goals. We are committed to achieving them. There's this 20-point plan that is set out, agreed to by everybody for achieving them. But if Hamas doesn't agree to abide by this plan, then that's what our military is for.
So what is the hard way? What happens if Hamas refuses to disarm or leave Gaza?
Then we'll have to renew our military operations to take away all of their weapons and to destroy what remains, the little that remains of Hamas's military forces. That's the plan. But as President Trump says, he believes that Hamas will surrender their arms and give up power, and that their terror masters will leave Gaza along the line set out in his plan.
All right, Caroline Glick, we appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And God bless America. God bless President Trump and the U.S.-Israel alliance. It's an amazing day for both of our countries today. Thank you.
Thank you, Caroline.